When I opened my eyes again, I was back at the college entrance examination. There was chaos in front of me, and Jang Song rushed to the police like crazy.
You found Su Xian, right?
I want to save her too. She can't live without me. I was dizzy, and then I realized that I had returned to 10 years ago. Who could have thought that the red-eyed boy in front of me would cut my flesh inch by inch? 10 years later, watching my body gradually soaked with blood and losing his child, Jang Song's mother couldn't stop him and turned her head, calling me anxiously. Shall you? You come and persuade him too. He listens to you the most. Jang Song also kept glancing at me as if he was waiting for me to stop him. There was still an hour before the college entrance examination. I ignored the farce around me and packed my stationery and admission ticket. Jang. If Jang Song wants to go, let him go. Why stop him? That's a life. It's the college entrance examination. It's okay to repeat a year. Zhang's mother was stunned. Jang Song seemed to have not expected me to say that, and his movements paused for a few seconds. But soon, he gritted his teeth and became even crazier. 3 adults couldn't hold him back. Let me save Su Xian. I have to save her. I watched coldly, sneering in my heart. Jang Song and Su Xian had been childhood sweethearts, and Jang Song and I only knew each other in high school. He and I agreed to take the entrance exam for Tsinghua University together, but on the eve of the college entrance exam, Su Xian was kidnapped. After the police found out Su Xian's location, they prepared to start the rescue. He was crazy about going to save Su Xian, and I desperately held him back, allowing him to complete the college entrance exam. Su Xian was later rescued, but her hands were broken. Even after recovery, her hands were always weak. As an art student, she could no longer hold a brush. But I didn't expect that Jang Song kept blaming me for this and hated me in his heart. He thought that if I hadn't stopped him, they would have been able to rescue Su Xian earlier, and Su Xian wouldn't have broken both her hands. Even though he married me later, he couldn't let go of Su Xian. The better I lived, the more Su Xian's misery was highlighted, and the more he felt that I owed Su Xian. I never found out that he and Su Xian were having an affair. I just thought he treated Su Xian well, because of guilt. I didn't expect that the two of them had been mixed up for a long time. They even imprisoned me in the basement together and tortured me to death. I died quietly in that cold and dark room. But when I opened my eyes, I returned to the day of the college entrance examination when I was 18 years old. I packed up my things and turned to leave. Jung's mother wanted to stop me, but she couldn't catch Jang Song. He was in a dilemma and finally watched me leave. When I arrived at the examination room, I let out a breath, calmed down, and focused my mind on the test paper in front of me. Fortunately, although 10 years have passed, my brain has not degenerated, and I can do most of the questions with the golden finger of rebirth. I wrote more questions than in my previous life. After the exam, I returned to the hotel. Su Xian had been rescued, and her hands were intact. However, Jang Song's hands and one leg were broken. I frowned slightly. This shouldn't be the case. In the previous life, Su Xian did break her hands, but it wasn't the kidnappers who beat her. She smashed them herself. These were also what Su Xian told me triumphantly when she cut my body with a knife. Those kidnappers were not real kidnappers at all. They were hired by her to act. She liked Jang Song since she was a child, but her grades were not good. She was afraid that he would really go to Tsinghua University with me and fly away, so she directed and acted in a play, letting Jang Song save her to ruin his college entrance examination and keep him with her. But I didn't expect that I would show up halfway. Jang Song was dragged by me to take the college entrance examination, and only the police came to save her. She knew her plan had failed, so she broke her own hands and tied herself to Jang Song. In this way, I still remember that in her previous life, she was in the hospital, and after waking up, she threw herself into Jang Song's arms and cried, "Brother Song, why didn't you come to save me?"
Why?
My hands were broken by them. What should I do? I can't paint anymore. I didn't notice the hateful look Jang Song cast at me at that time. In her previous life, Su Xian didn't even go to college, so naturally, she couldn't find a decent job. Jiang Song felt guilty and treated Su Xian better and better, even taking her to college. Once I was unhappy, he would talk about the college entrance examination to shut me up. If you and I hadn't gone to take the college entrance examination at that time, Su Xian's hand wouldn't have been broken. We both owed her this. I wanted to argue, but even Jiang's mother began to persuade me. Just think of it as having a younger sister in the family. Su Xian and Jiang Song grew up as siblings. Later, the brother and sister rolled in bed together after being locked up. I finally understood why Jiang's mother's attitude changed, because at that time, Su Xian was already pregnant with Jiang Song's child. The doctor said it was definitely a son. But in fact, even the so-called injuries on her hands were fake. In the previous life, when Su Xian held the knife and cut my skin, she used a lot of force, but it didn't look like her hands were weak at all. Her hands had long returned to normal, and she had been pretending that she couldn't hold the pen tightly. When Jiang's mother saw Jiang Song covered in blood, her eyes rolled back, and she almost fainted. But she didn't faint after all, and she still threw herself on Su Xian's face with great strength, beating and hitting her madly. It's all because of you. It's all because of you that my son has become like this, you evil spirit. Su Xian's crying and screaming rang out. But in the ward, the police rushed up to pull Jiang Song's mother away, and I sorted out the whole story in a few words. It turned out that Jiang Song was impatient and didn't listen to the police's arrangements, rushing into the kidnapper's room first. As a result, his limbs were broken. Jiang Song woke up from his coma and screamed in fear when he saw his legs wrapped in thick gauze. He didn't shut up until he learned that his leg injury could heal and he wouldn't be disabled. But the doctor didn't tell him that even if he did, he would become a burden. I stepped back and watched their farce with interest. Jiang's mother didn't treat Su Exin as a daughter anymore and was going to grab Su Exin's face like crazy. It's all because of you. You ruined my son's hand. He will still be a burden in the future. Now he can't take the exam. It's all because of you. Su Exin dodged her, covered her face, and cried, "Auntie, I'm also very sad that Brother Song was injured. Even if he can't heal, I'm willing to serve him for the rest of my life." "Who wants you to serve him?"
My son was ruined by you.
Jiang Song supported himself and kept dissuading his mom. "How can you blame Xiaoan? Those kidnappers are too cruel. It's better for me to have a broken arm than for Xiaoan to have one. She wants to be a painter. My injury is not unhealable. What's wrong with lameness? It just means I walk slower." Brother Song, Su Exin looked touched and gazed at Jiang Song. I watched the scene and kept rolling my eyes. Why didn't I see it in my previous life? It was so obvious that they were having an affair. Probably because Su Exin always hugged Jiang Song's arm and smiled in her previous life. "Sister Siu, if I really had something with Jiang Song, how could it be your turn to be with Brother Song? Don't worry, Brother Song and I are really childhood sweethearts." Later, they rolled onto the same bed. I still can't understand why they both like each other but have to pretend to be childhood sweethearts and drag others into it. Are they just enjoying the pleasure of the sin? Fortunately, Jiang Song and Su Exin can be tied together in this life. Jiang's mother cried for a while, then turned her head to look at me. Her eyes were full of hope as she held my hand tightly.
You will help take care of Jiang Song, right?
You and Xia Song have such a good relationship. By the way, you will marry Xia Song after you go to college, and Annie agrees that you two will be together. Su Exin immediately cast a jealous look. I lowered my eyes, gently brushed her hand away, and whispered, "Auntie, I'm only 18 this year. I can't get married. I have to go back to prepare for tomorrow's exam." After that, I left the ward without looking back. As soon as I went out, Jiang Song's nonchalant voice came out. "Mom, don't blame Xia Exin. Isn't it enough to rescue the person? I'm not a useless person. At most, I can repeat another year. I'm so smart. It's not like I can't get into Tsinghua University. Indeed, if he performs stably this year, it won't be a problem. It would be a problem to get into a 985 next year, but that was when Su Exin behaved herself and didn't make trouble." The college entrance examination ended quickly. I was exhausted and lying in the hotel to rest when the door was banged. I opened the door and saw that it was Zhang's mother. She was carrying a lot of bags and was about to rush into my room. I immediately blocked the crack in the door and pressed the door tightly. Is there something wrong? She couldn't get in, so she could only squeeze in while glaring at me. Xia Song is still in the hospital, and someone needs to take care of him. Go to the front desk now to renew your room and let me move in. We can take turns to take care of him and save the room fee. The hotel that Zhang Song and I stayed in during the college entrance examination was only booked for 3 days. I frowned. Why should I take care of him when he's injured? Shouldn't Su Exon take care of him? Mother Zhang continued to glare at me. You are his girlfriend. Isn't it natural to take care of him? Besides, if you hadn't stopped Xia Song at that time, you were there at that time, and you couldn't stop your son. How could I, who is not related to him, stop him? I have to work part-time during the summer vacation and don't have time to take care of him. The time for this room is up today. If you want to stay, go and renew it yourself. I don't have money. Mother Zhang suddenly raised her voice, and the cleaners passing by cast curious glances at her. Your family is so rich. Why do you still go to work? Isn't Xia Song's health more important than money? Now my face turned cold. Yes, your son's hands and legs are more important than money, so why are you worried about this little room fee? Anyway, I'm leaving. If you are not afraid of being chased out by the security guard, come in and live. After that, I stopped holding the door, and Mother Zhang stumbled and fell into the room. I ignored her, packed my luggage, and prepared to leave. At first, Zhang's mother was still leaning over and yelling, "Ouch, ouch." Seeing that I really didn't care about him, she got up, picked up the package, and chased me, grabbing my arm and refusing to give in. Where are you going? You are Zhang Song's girlfriend. Young Song is in the hospital. You have the obligation to take care of him. Come with me. As she said that, she was about to pull me out. I got angry too, no longer restrained, and pushed her to the ground. When did I become Zhang Song's girlfriend? Didn't you disagree with me being with him? He and I are just ordinary classmates. I'm not his mother nor his wife, and he didn't get hurt because he saved me, so why should I take care of him? That's right, in my previous life, I liked Zhang Song, but Zhang's mother didn't agree with me being with Zhang Song. She looked at me with a nose in the air, saying that Zhang Song was going to Tsinghua University and Peking University, and that their children's love affairs couldn't affect their studies. It's okay to be with Zhang Song, but you have to wait until he gets into college. Before the college entrance examination, I could only be his friend at best. She acted in a condescending manner, as if she was giving me some great benefit, although his family background was just ordinary. Zhang's mother still looked down on me. She felt that Zhang Song relied on himself for everything, never attended cram schools, never learned any talents, and it was his own efforts that got him into Tsinghua University. Although he has no money now, he is a high-quality potential stock, and I just got a good berth. She felt that with Zhang Song's conditions, he could go to Tsinghua University and Peking University. What kind of girl could he not find later? Zhang Song still married me, and she acted as if I was marrying up to the Zhang family. At this moment, Zhang's mother looked stunned. It seemed that she didn't expect that I, who had always been devoted to Zhang Song, would actually say such a thing. After a long while, she gritted her teeth and said, Okay, you don't want to take care of Xia Song, right? Don't regret it. I knew what Zhang's mother was going to do. She thought she could make me angry, so she pulled Su Xian to take care of Zhang Song. I wish they could stay together every day and get married now. But this was not enough. Blood debt should be paid with blood. Su Xian and Zhang Song like to pretend to be weak, so let them really have nowhere to go in this life. While my parents were not at home, I called Zhang Song on the landline at home, pretending to be very embarrassed. Zhang Song, my parents know about you, and they don't allow me to visit you. They have locked me up at home. Zhang Song comforted me. It's okay, see you. I have my mother here, don't worry. I will be admitted to your school next year. My fingers were carelessly winding around the phone line, and I felt sick just hearing his voice. Pretending to sound hesitant, I said carefully, but Aunt Zhang seems angry. I explained to her, but she didn't listen. What should I do? Does she dislike me again? How could that be? You must be overthinking.
See you.
You can stay at home with peace of mind. I have my mother here, so you don't have to worry about anything. I bit my lip. Su Xian, is she also with you? You won't be jealous again, will you? I really only treat Su Xian as my sister, but you didn't even take the college entrance examination, yet you insisted on saving her and got injured. Zhang Song's voice became impatient. I've said I only treat her as my sister. Can you stop thinking too much? I would save my own sister if she was kidnapped. Okay, hang up. Don't let your parents hear it. Before I could say anything, there was a beep, beep, beep sound of hanging up the line in the receiver. Zhang Song should be so happy now that he is sure that I can't go over with Su Xian accompanying him all day. He will definitely not be seen by me. I sneered. Zhang Song, you and Su Xian will be locked together for life. She dragged you into the quagmire, and you will never be able to turn over. When the admission letter came, Zhang Song's injury was almost healed. He looked at my admission letter with envy. You can come to my school next year. I will wait for you. I deliberately held his hand tightly, my eyes full of admiration. Sure enough, Suzanne's expression immediately became gloomy, staring at the admission letter in my hand. I continued to stimulate her. Zhang Song, you must study hard this year. Don't take it lightly just because you are repeating the year. If you can't get into my school, I will break up with you, I said, the truth coming out with a fake anger. Zhang Song was still unaware. He smiled and said, Don't worry, see you. I will definitely pass the exam. I looked at Su Exin with a smile. Well, I can rest assured that Xia Zhen will take care of you. Su Exin, you must not disappoint my expectations. After Zhang Song decided to repeat his senior year, Su Exin also repeated her senior year. She said she felt sorry for Zhang Song and wanted to spend this year with him. She was so excited that her eyes were shining, thrilled that she could have Zhang Song all to herself for a year. Zhang Song also enjoyed it. This year, he didn't need to be watched by me. He could do whatever he wanted with Su Exin. In the name of childhood sweethearts, he could continue to be with me in college and directly save 10 years of hard work. Zhang's mother was not happy. She looked down on Su Exin, but how could she control Zhang Song? Sure enough, when I just reported to the university, my cousin told me that Zhang Song had been hanging out with Su Exin recently. My cousin is 1 year younger than me, and Zhang Song happened to be in the same class with her after repeating his senior year. But neither of them knew the relationship between my cousin and me, and just thought she was an ordinary female classmate. Zhang Song always pretends to have a sore hand so that Su Exin can feed him. He walks with a limp, so Su Exin supports him all day long wherever he goes. Su Exin goes there just like a disabled person. My cousin said this with a look of disgust on her face. Zhang Song was not discriminated against because of his limp. Instead, he regarded it as a medal of honor, telling classmates that he was brave and got injured to save others. This made classmates TSK in admiration. It's too late to admire him. Who would look down on him? I told her not to observe them too obviously and not to take it too seriously. Just tell me the more important things. In the first monthly exam after school started, Zhang Song won first place in the class. This won't do. If it continues like this, if I go, he will really come to my place. I thought about it and posted a circle of friends. I miss you in the first month. I can't see you. The picture was of the $10 crystal necklace that Zhang Song bought me when I first met him. I set it to be visible only to Su Exin and Zhang Song, and soon Zhang Song liked it. Baby, you still have this necklace. Don't worry, we will meet soon. Wait for me. I sneered disdainfully, and after taking the photo, I threw the necklace into the trash can. Su Exin also liked it, but quickly canceled it, probably because she slipped her hand. I can imagine her jealous and hateful expression. Sure enough, the next day I saw an identical necklace on Su Exin. She said it was a birthday gift from someone. It's clear who this someone is. I don't think Zhang Song would blatantly give her a gift like the one he gave me. His plan was to hook me up and use my family's influence to save him 10 years of hard work. On the other hand, he secretly played with brother-sister with Su Exin, and when he could get rid of my family's control, he would confront me. When he was so poor, he couldn't really do something out of the ordinary. At most, he would play a little tricky and be ambiguous. The most likely thing was that Sue Exon bought it herself. In this way, for more than half a year, I had been showing off my Jang Song's bits and pieces to Sue Exon, which aroused her anger. Finally, she couldn't help it and sent me a 60-second voice message. When I opened it, I heard a barrage of curses. I frowned slightly and ended the playback after listening to the first few seconds. Don't be delusional. Brother Song likes me. He doesn't like you at all. I typed carelessly, he likes you. Then why haven't you been with him for so many years? Sister Jang Song has already said that he will be with me after the college entrance examination.
What about you?
Can you follow Jang Song now? Can you go to the same university as Jang Song? I'm afraid you can't even stay in the same city. Sue Exon became more and more angry and sent a voice message viciously. Why can't I go to the same school as Brother Song? You wait. After listening, my roommates looked at me in surprise and asked me what good thing happened to me and why I laughed so loudly. I wiped the tears from my eyes and said, my ex-boyfriend has a terminal illness and is dying. My cousin told me that Jang Song began to miss classes frequently. The teacher also criticized him many times, saying that although he is a seedling of Tsinghua and Peking University, he should not be taken lightly. Jang Song nodded to the teacher and turned around to miss classes. When Jang's mother scolded him, he said that the pressure was too great and he needed to relax. In short, he just relied on his foundation and did whatever he wanted. This is also a common problem for repeaters. The vast majority of repeaters who fail to improve their scores are because of this mentality: arrogance. I also know that this is also Sue Exon's fault. She dragged him to KTV and stayed up all night in the internet cafe. She took him to experience the so-called youth that he had never experienced before. Once he felt uneasy and wanted to go back to school, Sue Exon told him that with his ability, even if he didn't learn the things he had already learned, he could easily get into Tsinghua or Peking University. Jang Song quickly fell into it, so when he called me and said that he didn't get into Tsinghua, I was not surprised at all. This year, Sue Exon dragged him around and had fun. Everywhere he was lucky to get into a 2011 university, but I didn't expect Su Xian to be so crazy. She changed Jang Song's college entrance examination application. It was changed to the second-tier university where the junior college she got into was located, but it was also in Beijing. So Xian wanted to be with Jang Song, but she couldn't reach Jang Song's level, so she would definitely pull him down. In the last life, Jang Song had guilt towards her, and I cleaned up their mess. What do they have in this life? When all the previous feelings are exhausted, there will only be hatred. Jang Song was almost mad. His eyes were about to spit fire, and his fists were cracking. So Xian huddled up in fear, crying breathlessly, "Brother Song, don't be angry. Woo-woo. I'm afraid that you will forget me after going to school. I'm afraid that you don't want me. Woo-woo. So you changed my college entrance examination wishes." Su Xian continued to cry because she wanted to be with him too much. If he went to the same school as Xinyu, he would definitely not remember her. Jang Song was moved by her tears again. Even though he was about to be hurt, he didn't have the heart to continue scolding her. He said irritably, "Okay, don't cry. I don't blame you." Su Xian looked up carefully. "Brother Song, are you going to repeat a year?" Jang Song took out a cigarette and lowered his head to puff. This is also what he learned from Su Xian in the past year. "I won't repeat the year. It's a waste of time. We're all in Beijing anyway." Although Jang Song was willing to let Su Xian go, Jang's mother wouldn't. Before the college entrance exam, she had been bragging to her relatives and neighbors that her son would definitely be admitted to Tsinghua University or Peking University. In the end, he ended up in a second-tier university. You can imagine how embarrassed she was. She was not as soft-hearted as Jang Song when it came to Su Xian. "My son has been ruined by you. It's all because of you." All her anger was vented on Su Xian. Jang's mother grabbed Su Xian's hair and slapped her a dozen times. "It's not enough that you've harmed my son this year. You even changed my son's college entrance exam application. Let's go. Follow me to the police station." I'll send you to jail today. Su Xian was really scared this time and cried heartbreakingly. Her cheeks were red and swollen, and she shook her head and backed away. Andy, I didn't mean it. I was just possessed by a ghost. I'm sorry. Woo woo woo. The noise attracted all the neighbors, but no one came to stop the fight. They all watched the fun from the side. Su Xian's father and mother tried their best to persuade them, while Zhang Song shrank aside and dared not speak. Perhaps he was afraid that Zhang's mother would ask him why he repeated a grade when his score was more than 200 points lower than before. In the end, the farce ended with the Su family guaranteeing to compensate the Zhang family 10,000 yuan. When Zhang Song stammered and told me that he was admitted to a second-tier university, I understand that repeating a year is very stressful. Fortunately, we are still in the same city. When school started, I went to the station to pick up Zhang Song, and Susan came out from behind him. She smiled complacently and said, "Sister, you, brother Song, and I are in the same school. You won't be angry, right?" I looked at her and smiled softly. How could that be? I know you take good care of Zhang Song. Looking at Zhang Song again, I continued, Auntie said before that we should get married when we go to college. Suzanne's face changed instantly. I added, but I think we are both too young, so why not wait until we graduate from college to get the marriage certificate? Zhang Song smiled and said, okay, no problem for me. I smiled at Suzanne, took Zhang Song's arm, and walked towards the exit. I didn't need to look back. I could feel the anger in Suzanne's eyes burning a hole in me. I started to go to Zhang Song frequently, even skipping classes. After all, I had studied college courses once in my previous life, and I could easily cope with the exams even if I didn't attend classes. My roommates didn't understand why I kept going to find a gangster. You don't let him fool you. Men like this like to eat the whole family. I smiled at them. It's okay, I know him. He really likes me. My roommate looked at me with a complicated expression, sighed, and stopped persuading me. Zhang Song was very happy at first. He was also worried, afraid that I would really break up with him because he only got into a second-tier university. What's wrong with a second-tier university? Education is not important to people when you graduate. I will ask my dad to recommend you to be a leader in the company. Zhang Song was very satisfied, with a cigarette in his mouth. That's right. Who still discriminates against education these days? Scores can't represent everything.
See?
Don't worry. When I enter the company, I will definitely not let my dad down. I smiled at him. Thanks to Suzanne's efforts, Zhang Song is completely different from his previous life. His cheeks are sunken, his eyes are cloudy, and he is completely different from the spirited boy he used to be. In his previous life, he at least looked decent and wasn't so vulgar. I don't know how Suzanne's college life was, but Zhang Song's college life was not satisfactory at all. He was completely different from his previous life, and he was often laughed at behind his back. College students are much more complicated than his high school classmates. No one would look at him with new eyes just because he said he was injured for being a hero. In addition, I, his official girlfriend, often went to see him, but when I was not there, he often hung out with Suzanne. Wherever he went, there would be vague discussions. Zhang Song was born in a single-parent family and was sensitive. After a long time, he felt that everyone in the school looked down on him and had bad intentions towards him.
Damn.
Who are you looking down on? When I become the company's CEO, I will never hire those people into the company. Zhang Song's eyes were red, and he drank the beer and said viciously, and those roommates, they all got into a lousy second-tier university, and they are so arrogant all day long. Has he forgotten that he is also a second student now? I hesitated and finally smiled. Zhang Song, your classmates are so annoying. Why don't you move out of the school? Zhang Song's eyes lit up, and he was obviously moved but hesitant. But the rent, I'll pay it, he said. I pretended to be embarrassed. You can't sign the contract with my ID card. I'm afraid my parents will find out. Zhang Song nodded repeatedly. Use mine. I'll go get your ID card now. I quietly raised the corners of my mouth and collected several online loan platforms while he was gone. When Jang Song and I were together, Susan would always appear inexplicably. Once I was unhappy, Jang Song would bring out that set of rhetoric again. She is my sister, which means she is your sister. You are jealous of your own sister. Susan was also very cooperative. She didn't look like she had said harsh words to me before. Sister Sue, I really only treat Brother Song as my brother, I said. Jang Song smiled and pinched my face. I dodged it with a red face and opened my backpack to find tissues to wipe my face. Susan exclaimed, "A little Sister Sue, this bag you are wearing is a limited edition bag, right?" I smiled embarrassedly. Yes, it's a birthday gift from my dad. I didn't want it, but my dad said that girls should at least carry a decent bag when they are outside. Suzanne's eyes flashed. Sister, I really envy you for having such a rich father. I smiled. If you want to carry it, I'll lend it to you. Susan looked flattered but didn't say anything polite and took it directly. After that, she took advantage of me a lot. She took away brand name bags, cosmetics, and clothes without hesitation. As long as she liked them. She said she borrowed them, but she never returned them. I didn't rush her, but took her to high-end restaurants. She took dozens of photos and posted them on her moments after retouching and got dozens of likes and envy. Seeing Suzanne's changes, I became happier and happier. Not only Suzanne, but Jang Song was also affected. Although it is said that gold will shine wherever it is difficult not to be affected in such an environment. Moreover, before the college entrance examination, he was no longer the young man who was determined to work hard. He became addicted to games, and he would charge 648 yuan at a time. Soon, his living expenses were all spent, and then he could only ask me for help. I didn't refuse at first. He transferred thousands of yuan, and later tens of thousands of yuan. I marked all these transfers as loans. Jang Song asked for this for his self-esteem, and I wanted it. He soon became addicted to more than just games. He had no money to buy branded shoes, branded mobile phones, and branded clothes, so he had to borrow from me. He became an expert at clubbing. As an excuse to reduce the number of times I met him, he was more free. I contacted him 10 times a week, and 9 times he asked me to borrow money. Jang Song, my parents said they want to discuss marriage. They want to hold the wedding first and buy our wedding house. I deliberately said these words to Jang Song when Sue Exon came over again. Jang Song was surprised and happy. Really? Then I'll ask my mom to come over and meet my parents-in-law. Also, my parents said that they want to send us abroad to get some experience and then come back so that it will be easier to find a job. Of course, my parents will pay for all the expenses. Before Jang Song spoke, Sue Exon screamed first, "Go abroad, Brother Song. You can't leave me and go abroad." Jang Song was still thinking and was interrupted by her, so he was naturally not happy. Why can't I go abroad? Can't you see me doing well? Sue Exon bit her lip and couldn't speak. I glanced at her calmly. Her face was as white as paper, and her nails were embedded in her palms, leaving a lot of pinch marks. I leaned on Jang Song's arms with a smile. We are getting married, so you can't do anything to let me down. Otherwise, I will never forgive you. Jang Song promised repeatedly, and Sue Exon's face became even gloomier. In a place where they couldn't see, I couldn't help but smile. Sue Exon was pregnant, and soon the father was also exposed. Their grade caused a small sensation, and Jang Song was pointed at by people when he walked on the street. Jang Song knelt in front of me and cried bitterly. See you, I was really confused for a moment. I was drugged by that _. I didn't realize it at all. I threw the photos of them checking into a hotel on the table. You drugged me once you checked into a hotel 10 times this month. You drugged me every time. Jang Song was speechless and could only beg for my forgiveness. See you know how much I love you. How could I have a child with someone else? I came to Beijing just for you. I was silent for a while and touched the red corners of Jang Song's eyes. Okay, I can consider forgiving you, but I changed the subject. You must let Sue Exon abort the child. Jang Song was stunned. Sue, she is already 5 months pregnant. What's wrong with 5 months? In my last life, I was tortured to miscarriage at 6 months pregnant.
I smiled at Jang Song.
Why can't you bear to part with her? No, of course not. He shook his head like a rattle. I'll ask her to abort the baby right now. Jang Song made several calls in a row, but no one answered. He gritted his teeth and cursed in a low voice. See you, I'll go to her directly and talk to her face to face. Wait for me. I watched him leave and immediately contacted Jung's mother. I sent her a text message from an unfamiliar number. Sue Exon is pregnant. Your son. The doctor said it's a boy. Looking at the phone, I slowly smiled. Jung's mother looked down on Sue Exon, but she would not bear to part with her eldest grandson. Sure enough, 2 days later, Jang Song contacted me cautiously. See you, I asked Sue Exon to. I had an abortion, but I don't know why my mother knew about it and refused to allow it. I pinched my thigh and pretended to cry. Then Jang Song said, well, I won't bother you anymore. After that, I hung up the phone. For the next few days, I stayed in the hotel. No matter how Jang Song tried to find me, I didn't see him. Then I heard that Sue Exon was admitted to the hospital. Jang Song drugged Sue Exon to have an abortion. When she was found, Sue Exon was completely drenched in blood, and she was already dead. Jang Song was really cruel, but Sue Exon was still rescued. On the phone, Jang Song was like a madman, saying, See you. I have aborted Sue Exon's child. You should forgive me. I admired the new manicure for a while and waited until he was done with his madness before I spoke lazily. Jang Song, I've thought about it. The result is that I still don't want to forgive you. Just stay with Sue Exon. She really likes you. Jang Song was stunned for a moment and then began to beg me. SEO, what are you talking about? I aborted my child for you. This must be a test you gave me, right? SEO, I don't like Sue Exon at all, nor do I like the child she gave birth to. I only like you, Jang Song. I interrupted him. Why do you think I would want a __? There was silence on the other side for a moment, and then Jang Song's sharp curses rang out. Shanu, you __? I killed the child for you, you venomous woman. I was too lazy to listen and hung up the phone directly. I sorted out the evidence of Jang Song and my love, found the voice messages that Sue Exon sent to me to provoke me, and added the photos of the two of them checking into a hotel. I made a PPT and uploaded it to the forum and super topic of Jang Song's school. Jang Song and Sue Exon became completely famous in the PPT. I wrote clearly from beginning to end. Young Song slept with Sue Exon, a good sister, when discussing the wedding with me. Finally, I wrote a paragraph. In the first year during the college entrance examination, you gave up the college entrance examination for her and chose to repeat the year. In the second year, I was looking forward to you coming to my school to fulfill our promise, but in order to be with her, you indulged her to tamper with your college entrance examination wishes. In the third year, I was going to hold a wedding with you, but you started dating her frequently and went to a hotel to get a room. Now you have a child, and you still want me to accept both of them? Jang Song, I am not a fool, and I am not without temper. You always say that she is your sister, but how can a sister send a voice message to threaten me to break up with you? In high school, at that time, I ignored her threat. Now thinking about it, if I had known this, I should have broken up with you at the beginning. Jang Song, let's break up. As soon as the PPT came out, Madison went crazy. Soon, Jang Song and Sue Exon's personal information was exposed. Jang Song tried to defend himself by saying that I killed his child, but no one sympathized with him. The mistress and the scumbag, let alone their child. Moreover, the scumbag had no intention of repenting but instead felt sorry for the product of the cheating. Many were even angrier. Some even said that they would report and sue Sue Exon for tampering with other people's college entrance examination wishes and send her to jail. During that time, Jang Song and Sue Exon became like rats crossing the street and had to wear sunglasses and masks when going out. Affected by public opinion, the school also persuaded the two to drop out. Sue Exon, like in her previous life, could not go to any school, but Jang Song was different from his previous life. He could only pack his luggage and leave the school with Sue Exon in disgrace, with nowhere else to go. Jang Song called me. He first asked me to forgive him, and when he saw that I was unmoved, he became angry. Shenu, don't you see what kind of person you are? I am glad that I am willing to have you. Isn't it just sleeping with someone else? Which man hasn't done this? Why are you making such a fuss? I tell you, Su Exin is better than you. Don't you just have a few stinky money? 30 years in the East, 30 years in the West, just wait, I said lazily. Jang Song, don't you dream that your child is looking for you to kill you? I am indeed not a good person. I am not as good as you, and I killed my own child with my own hands. By the way, I haven't paid the rent for the house you live in since last month. Remember to make up for it, and the money I lent you before is more than 100,000. When will you pay me back? The other party's breath trembled, and the phone was hung up. Jang's mother also called me, and she just scolded me for killing her eldest grandson and dying a miserable death. Auntie, no one understands the meaning of a not-so-good death better than me. It was me before, and now it's your turn. After that, I never talked to her again and blocked her directly. After that, I never paid attention to Jang Song and Su Exin again and only heard about their recent situation from others sporadically. Jang Song didn't want to repeat his studies and stayed in the city to work. After Su Exin was taken out of the hospital, she forgave him for aborting her child and stayed with him completely. Both of them were idle and unwilling to do hard work. Jang Song encountered many setbacks when looking for a job. Few companies were willing to hire a person who dropped out of a second-tier university halfway through. Even if he passed the interview, the company's people would search his name on the internet and see the bad things he and Su Exin had done, so they rejected him again. He thought that because he was a dropout, the company's people discriminated against him, so he beat up the HR and stayed in the police station for a few days. Now, he couldn't find a job because I had been supporting him for a while. He spent money lavishly and soon spent all his father's pension. Jang's mother had to work to support him when she was nearly 60 years old. At the time those people should come to the door, when I answered the phone and heard that it was Jang Song on the other end, I was not too surprised. Shinu, you borrowed the money yourself. Why do you want me to pay it back? Let these people go. I could still vaguely hear some people's impatient urging voices on the other end of the phone. Jang Song promised repeatedly and then turned around, lowering his voice to yell at me, "Pay back the money you borrowed yourself." The money I lent to Jang Song before was all online loans borrowed with his ID card. Now the time is up, and the creditors are only asking him for money. I pretended to be surprised. Didn't you spend all that money yourself? Besides, you said at the beginning that you would pay me back all that money. Why don't you want to pay it back now that you have changed the creditor? Jang Song choked for a moment, then roared, "I don't care. You borrowed this money. Come here quickly." Jang Song, sometimes I really wonder if your brain is full of nonsense. I sneered, ignored the roar from the other side, and hung up the phone directly. I didn't expect Jang Song and Suzanne to be so crazy that they kidnapped me. When I woke up in the dim room with my hands and feet tied, I was still a little unresponsive. A sneer came from the darkness opposite me. "You're awake." A dull pain came from the back of my head, and then I remembered what happened when I was at home yesterday. Someone called me to move the car in the parking lot, and as soon as I arrived at the parking lot, I was knocked unconscious. Jang Song. I tried my best to sit up straight and stay calm. "Are you crazy? You kidnapped me. Do you know how many years you will be sentenced to?" Jang Song walked out of the darkness, his face numb. "Go to jail. Those people said they would chop off my hand." "Shinu, you forced me to do this. I just want money. Your family has so much money. What's wrong with giving me some?" I took a deep breath and looked around. "Where's Suzanne? She should be your helper." Jang Song nodded. "She went out to buy food." Jang Song seemed to be emotionally stable. I closed my eyes and thought about countermeasures. Jang Song's eyes were empty.